Hey there, welcome back to my channel if you're returning, or welcome if you're new. I've had my Kyleena in for about 2.5 years now, and I've learned some things. I'm going to share with you the different aspects of what I've learned using the Kyleena IUD, having it in, and what that's been like. Do keep in mind that these are all my opinions, experiences, things that have to do with me, my body, and this is not advice in any way possible, okay? These are just my conclusions that I came up with, and you need to use your judgment to be able to make a decision for yourself because I'm not an expert. So a big one that we're gonna start with is acne. I've dealt with acne for a long time, since the teenage years, age 13, puberty hits. There was different moments in my life where my skin was able to be completely clear, but I noticed that ever since I had in my IUD and all the time throughout after that, it's just been really hard to control my acne. I'm not sure if it is a result of the IUD or not. I do know just from some research that it is a possibility, that is something that has been reported. I struggle with really bad acne on my cheeks and on my jaw, and getting that in check is just so difficult. I'm wondering if once I get my IUD out, if that will change. We'll see eventually. So my periods haven't changed. They're still the regular amount of flow, but I did notice that my periods are actually a little bit longer now, which is not what we want. Back before I had my IUD in, my periods were like 3 to 4 days. Now they can go up to like 7 days, and I'm not loving that at all. My IUD definitely, I think, caused that, so that's interesting. They say that IUDs can cause your period to go away. That did not happen for me at all whatsoever. I've had my period consistently all throughout the months that I've had my IUD in. As for sex, at first it was pretty weird because the string was actually poking my partner, which, ouch. I let my gynecologist know that it was causing discomfort, and they stepped the wire a little bit just to make sure that it's not in the way, and now it's not a problem. It does the thing, it does what it's supposed to, no pregnancies. So that's of course the good part of the IUD. I'm not sure if it had any significant impact with intimacy, just besides the string poking my partner, but other than that, no. So I've noticed I had little sharp pains after a little while, and I actually got it checked out. It's actually a fibroid. Yikes. I thought this was my IUD at first, but that's actually a separate thing. So the fibroids. But I have noticed that some people have said that they've felt the device in them, which I can't say I've noticed the device inside me. It doesn't feel like anything. I'm pretty sure for somebody that has given birth, they'll probably know the difference of the feeling, but I don't notice it. It doesn't feel like anything's there. It's actually not noticeable. Okay, one of the biggest concerns that I had when I actually first got my IUD, way in the beginning, is that I felt as though it was affecting my mental health. And this kind of ties back into everything, right? The ability to have intimacy, and my acne control, and just overall my moods. Ever since I had the IUD in, I've noticed that my anxiety is just highly present. When I first had it in, it was only in for a couple months, and my anxiety attacks were just going crazy, and I had no idea why. I asked my doctor about it, and my doctor couldn't really pinpoint why I was getting those anxiety attacks. It was all just a big old question mark where those could have stemmed from. And even to this day, it's a big old question mark. And I know for a fact that I've never had anxiety attacks before. I pop an IUD inside of me, then now I'm having anxiety attacks. And not even that long after I put it in too. So will I say it's correlated? Yes. I'm not liking how that connection between feelings of anxiety and depression may be linked to the IUD. And it's kind of a sucky feeling because at the time especially, I really wanted to have that protection. But now that I'm out of college and now that I am taking better care of myself, I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of it at all. And I honestly just want it out of me at this point. If this device does have something to do with my anxiety attacks, then yeah, get that thing out. What? Of course, I'll seek other methods of protection. There is good old classic condoms, of course, can't go wrong with that. For the convenience of an IUD is just, that's why I chose it, and it just made sense at the moment for me to have that for myself, and I wouldn't choose it any other way. If I were still me back then and in that particular situation, I would definitely choose to have an IUD in me now, but the me now is a completely different me, and on top of that, I'm just not a fan of the effects that it has on my mental health. It's really sucky. It's just interesting hearing the different stories of people that have had an IUD and how they felt before the IUD and after the IUD, and it's really reassuring to know that you're not crazy. They seem to not want to admit that these things can have an effect on you in those ways. So now that I'm 2.5 years in the experience with it, it was, I would say, positive and negative at the same time. It's a solid 50-50. The 50 being I'm not pregnant and it's under control, but on the other hand, it's just all the problems that I listed is just there. So pick and choose your battle, right? The product works, however, the side effects, they don't tell you about the side effects. Either they don't tell you about the side effects or they don't want to admit to what the side effects are. You would think that they would try to be transparent about these things, because at the end of the day, if we really want to use the device, then we'll just use the device. But I just find it so odd. If you like content about self-care or all things body love, then do subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Until next time, see ya. Bye.